We've got a whole carousel of issues that are just going round and round at the moment. And just to put OPEC to one side for a moment, but let's keep it topical. China, trade, that seemed to dominate the headlines at the beginning of this week. It slipped out of the headlines because we've got the Fed and this UN speech here. But which is doing most damage? I mean, it was interesting, the Russian energy minister told me he thought China-US and the trade issue was worth about $5 to $6 in the price of oil at the moment. Would you buy into that?
I think that's certainly a factor. You know, as a fundamental investor trying to look at companies that we can invest in that will make our clients a return over time, all of this short-term noise in terms of macro makes it very difficult to make decisions other than by stepping back to fundamentals and say, we like the underlying business, we think it will be here in 5 years' time, we think it will still be growing, and it's at a reasonable price. Everything else you're trying to factor into that, but you can only do it in terms of what does it mean for my company's profitability. So let's take the China issue, the trade wars. It's very hard until you know exactly what they are to factor those into your numbers. You can take a stab at where we are at the moment. Let's say it's 200 billion. Okay, on that, that's going to have a certain impact with regards to probably consumption. It certainly means that there are concerns about what is going to be sold or isn't sold into that market. But at the moment, most of the companies I know that sell, particularly from China, into the United States are just at the moment talking about putting prices up. I don't think they're going to stop selling. I just think the price is going to be higher. Who's that going to affect? The US consumer. I'm still not sure the Trump administration realizes quite how negative that may be to some of his voters when they really think about how much their prices are going to go up. In that regard, we're just beginning to think about the impact. So, for example, we're seeing Home Depot, the team in the US today. We're meeting with management, we're talking about it. One of the questions we want to know is, if you walk around Home Depot, look at how many of those goods are manufactured outside of the United States. What are they going to do to pricing? I know what they'll talk about. They'll talk about trying to mitigate the effect. But I think you're going to see significant moves up in price. What does that mean for consumption? If consumption drops, then obviously that has effect on profitability. What does that mean for our investments in those companies? That's what we're trying to do. You're trying to think through those long-term effects. And it's very hard to be categoric yet about this. So it clearly has an impact. We've seen lots of studies suggesting GDP, global GDP, because of tariffs will go down. Somewhere between maybe 0.2 and 0.3, I think, for a 200 billion. It's not dramatic in itself, but it's certainly unhelpful. So, then how do we price that in?
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.